Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our 1855 treaty meeting. Today we call this press release to make our governor, or I shouldn't say make, but to ask our governor and our lieutenant governor to please step up in helping us in our fight against Line 3 and also these water permits that are taking water from our lakes. You know, there's plenty of lakes out there that they could take from that don't have wild rice. I don't understand why they don't do that, but instead they're taking out of our lakes that have wild rice, and with a drought right now, you know, that hurts a lot of our people as far as food-wise and as far as the income. So today we hold this to make our lieutenant governor and I'm going to say make because we want you guys to understand that our lieutenant governor and Governor Walz, that, you know, our native vote makes a big difference. There's a lot of native votes in our 1855 treaty area and within the other treaties. And right here in Minnesota, our native vote is strong, and I'm sure it helped in getting you guys elected. So today we call upon you to help us out and helping put a stop to these permits and to stop this line 3. And with that, I say miigwech, and I'm going to turn it over to our Secretary-Treasurer, who's going to say a few words. Then we'll turn it over to WInona, LaDuke, and also Frank Bibeau. Miigwech. And I'm sorry, I always forget to introduce myself. My name is Raymond Auginaush. I'm the District 1, and I'm also the Assistant Chair for the 1855 Treaty.
Thank you, Representative Auginaush, and to the 1855 Treaty Authority, to Ms. LaDuke here, and for our tribal members in the audience. My name is Alan Roy. I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of White Earth Nation. We've convened here today. We were having an 1855 Treaty Authority meeting, and also as part of the White Earth Nation Tribal Council, we have great concern over our wild rice and our water. In 2019, the White Earth Nation had passed a Rights of Monoman, Rights of Wild Rice resolution. That is tribal law. That requires the White Earth Nation to stand up for our sacred food. It also requires us to protect it. And Frank's going to talk a little about, Mr. Frank Bibeau is going to talk a little bit about some of the actions that were taken legally in order to protect our rice and our waters. Many of our community members have expressed great concern about the drought in the all across the U.S. quite literally, but specifically here in the northwest of Minnesota. And we know that our water systems are all connected. All right, so if you take from one area, it affects another. We have spoken to the commissioner of the DNR, and we did make a specific request to suspend those water permits related to the pipeline. Unfortunately, she had declined that request. And so that's part of why we're meeting here today. I do want to express to the governor and to Mr. Tim Walz and to Miss Peggy Flanagan, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, citizen of the White Earth Nation, that we are calling upon you for your help. We need your help. Our sacred food needs your help. Our water needs your help. Our people need your help. And I want to also expand that request for help. I would like to request that President Biden considers this request and heeds it, and Vice President Harris. The federal government has a trust responsibility to tribal nations in the United States. As part of our treaty, the waterways, the food, the animals, everything that comes along with that, our people, they have a trust responsibility to make sure that these resources are protected not only for us, but our children and 7 generations from now. So it's incredibly important that you guys, Mr. President, Mr. Governor, Madam Vice President, Madam Lieutenant Governor, you heed our request, you hear our call for help. That being said, I'll be followed up by Ms. LaDuke. Thank you.
Anin in Denoy Maganatuk Binisikwe and Shinakas. WInona LaDuke here, White Earth tribal member, Mississippi Band tribal member as well. Yes, calling on Governor Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan to stand up for the water and stand up for the Anishinaabe people. There's been a total dereliction of trust responsibility duties by the federal government and by the state government. There's been an entire mismanagement of everything north in the 1855 treaty territory. In the worst drought that we have known, there are critical water conditions in the Crow Wing and the Shell River systems. They are at 25% capacity according to your DNR reports from last week. That same river system is where you are proposing, you have allowed Enbridge to take 3 billion gallons more water out of already dry rivers, affecting to great detriment our wild rice, our medicinal plants, all of the shell creatures and the fish that live in those river systems. And that is wrong. That's an entire mismanagement. We are calling on Peggy Flanagan and Governor Walz to be responsible. And more than that, we're calling on the federal government to stand up for the waters and the treaty rights of the Anishinaabe in these territories. And at the same time, I just want to point out that there was a frack out 2 days ago on the Willow River. And I was there as an 1855 tribal member, and I went into the Willow River. I was in a canoe in the Willow River and witnessed that Enbridge had had a large accident in the Willow River. The DNR was not there to observe the accident. The DNR was not there to monitor. And the question I would ask is, who do we complain to about Enbridge's violations of their permit? Who's in charge of violations of Enbridge's permit and frack outs and spills that are occurring as we speak on Enbridge's proposed and underway Line 3? Who is responsible for this? You know, we witnessed that, and those DNR officials were there to arrest us, not to protect the water, and that's wrong. So you've got a rogue corporation, a rogue Canadian corporation, and it's not very patriotic, Governor Walz, to give your water and your land and the civil rights of Minnesotans and tribal members away to a Canadian corporation. Not very patriotic, and we are calling on you and Peggy Flanagan to stand up for the Anishinaabe and for the waters of northern Minnesota. Miigwech.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to address the governor, the lieutenant governor, the president, and the vice president. We've tried working through the legal systems that exist at the federal level. We've still got a decision that's going to come out, but we're not sure if it's in time for the pipeline itself. We've tried working through the Corps of Engineers. We've tried working through the PUC. We've tried working through the Pollution Control Agency and the DNR. And we find that every time there's a place where our rights could be protected, the state seems to find some way around looking at our rights in a good way. We found that we cannot rely on the state system. And so we are going to exercise our rights in a way that hasn't been done before. Monoman is our most important, spiritual, sacred, central part of our culture. If people do not understand that, they will. This is part of the American Indian Religious Freedoms Act and our rights. And so Monoman grows everywhere right now in northern Minnesota, and it's being starved out from water. It's being starved out from its nutrients. The people are going to have a hard time going out and harvesting and being able to make their allowed livings that they are from hard work. The time to do this has already happened 2 or 3 times. It's obvious that the state doesn't care. I have met Governor Walz when he was a congressman in DC. The same for our Attorney General, Keith Ellison. They were House reps, and when the tribes would come and meet with them there, they understood our treaty rights very well. Our treaty rights were respected when those men sat in Washington, D.C., but now they sit with the other oppressors from the other agencies, and they're denying us our rights. So we're asking one more time to exhaust our administrative remedies. Please stop what you're doing. Miigwech.
With that, I'd like to say miigwech, but I too would also like to say to President Biden and Vice President Harris, come on, we are a government. Start treating us like a government. Let's meet on a government-to-government basis. So with that, I say miigwech, and I hope you all have a good day, and I thank our speakers, WInona LaDuke, Frank Bibeau, and Secretary Treasurer Roy. Miigwech. Gigawabam, and